Analog fantasy. The door to the room so lovingly referred to as the analog room slowly opens. The aroma and sounds of history gradually crescendo. You know, this room boasts a particularly lugubrious stack of reel-to-reel tapes. But they call to me and I answer. Such unspeakable beauty lies from within these four walls. If I could only tell you of the omnipresence of records brimming from wall to wall, or the incalculable towers of Nintendo game cartridges which titillate the senses. Haven't you heard? Analog lives. Animate video cassettes parade across the room. March plays to ants go marching. Where the VHS cassettes we live, we live. Where the VHS cassettes we give. Moving picture sounds galore. Digital is such a bore. See just what we store. Despite the happenstance of this outlandish spectacle, one's eyes can't help but notice the audio cassettes assembling for funny more. Tapes and stacks leaping to what would seem their demise. All in good fun, they exult, as they plummet headfirst from the pinnacle of Tape Mountain onto carpeted surface, seemingly a plummet to certain destruction. However, I tell you this, wherein their tank-like structure is concerned, they must not be overlooked because they're endowed with fortitude. And how could I have failed to take a standpoint from a broader panorama? You know, the overall zeitgeist that matters. Classical records engaged in hand-to-hand combat with the jazz ones. But oh, the cosmic paradox, for tucked beneath the fold in the carpet lies a Chopin 8-track and a Billie Holiday record exchanging euphonic declarations of love. A modern Romeo and Juliet, no doubt, wrought by the powers of analog. A Mickey Mouse Capé Nintendo game cartridge sits coolly with the company of a Casablanca Betamax tape and a charming Panasonic turntable, all playing a game of poker. Oh, the madman scene of poetic enterprise, all in analog, and in the background, the warm sonic emission of Claude Debussy crackles as the record spins. It's almost as if it's decreeing. Dear esteemed citizens and constituents of the analog room, it has come to my attention that, quite frankly, our superiority over all their formats remains strong. And with this warm, crackling pop vinyl transmission, I celebrate our glory throughout. It is an undisputable fact. Announcer's volume gradually decreases. Cinematographic point of view slowly fades and exits the exquisite analog room, only to return to our contemporary world digital.
As a child, I wished upon fabricated stars beaming through creeks, beneath closed doors, street and porch lights, glaring through windows, reflecting off the ceiling of houses, housing themselves to find comfort. And all we had were borrowed floors and mattresses or the leather cushion of our car. We would find a way to sleep comfortably because my mother said so. You see, everything my mother says goes, so we'd curl up next to her, close our eyes, and just listen. The four of us tucked away into the warm pocket of her skin, my sister, our little brother, and me, my oldest brother laying at her feet, furthest away from the stories she told. My mother showed us she was more strong than weak on most days and on others. The tired in her face would tell you she was ashamed to take credit for who we've become when she knew very well. We were raised by the sun, dropped off by the moon in her chest, holding her heart like a secret. We were all dying to hear the buried whispers, loosely smuggling culture into the root of her jaw, teeth clenching as tight as she held us. Since we were young, we laid our heads on dreams pillowcased into the flesh of her forearm, embraced breathing proverb in her wrist, embraced with sterling silver bracelets, braced with promises, wrapped in gratitude. We would watch as she would fold thankful into her purse, like dirty dollar bills we learned always had value. despite its filth. Shift hope behind her ears like she still believes her hair will one day grow long enough to dance in the wind. My mother, one of 10 children, fed as a child by a great woman, standing beside an even greater man. And us, we were the first generation of seeds to be planted in America, and sowed by tradition, brought up in the islands, caught in the breeze of rivers held up to her eyes like she ran in the ocean, and on nights she couldn't find the strength to speak. She hummed softly into the mellow slopes of our ears, over drunk men pounding crooked doors, sirens racing, the sounds of trains and cuss words roaming our complex. We were raised like yeast swirling in the belly of homemade bread, carefully watched. And I don't wonder anymore why she kept our stars inside, pinned up on busted ceilings. They stayed, confined like we refused to be. You'd catch us sneaking out the house just to play in the streets. We were never spoon-fed with riddles, never knew the difference between punishment and discipline, but my mother made sure her hands were never as heavy as my father's were, even if it meant the weight on her shoulders had to be. My mother held it down for single mothers. She held it down for every single mother, and because she did her domestically violated, no child support, just making it on her own, and because she did her part. The five of us stayed close, reminding me of points that make up stars, just a silhouette off the ceiling. And until this day, we find ourselves grown, still making wishes while looking up. Right before we would fall asleep, tucked away into the warm pocket of her skin, my sister, my little brother, and me with my oldest brother, always laying at her feet.
So it's about just sleeping with people that are totally not the right people to sleep with. Here he comes, guy in my dreams, written all over his body like so much graffiti, like so much poetry. And the words fade like the firing spray under the sandblaster that is my disaster-laced libido that stops at the level of the skin. But it's not you, it's me. It's the freshly fucked sheen-wearing fin that stops at the level of the skin as the surface quickly slips under the repetitive urgings of my fingertips and lips and thighs until all that's left are annoying movie lines or total nerdiness or lack of motivation or lack of common sense or any of the other criteria I didn't know exist in this nightmare that was the guy of my dreams. But it's not you, it's me. My standards are too high, my desperate heart too blind until you're lying by my side and I realize this stops at the level of the skin. There's no poetry here, this graffiti's not inspired, it's some amateur cholo smear that wastes the Krylon and the wall it's sprayed on. The time I spent on getting the clothes off to see the writing I thought was there, but shit, I was wrong. The skin is bare, it's all surface finished, there's nothing beneath though my eyes strain to see and my hands stretch to reach. But it's not you, it's me.
Too much pride inside is always hard to hide. It must come out, it must be shown. It's like a weed that's overgrown. Is it you or is it really me? Is there something I can do or do you disagree? I guess it doesn't really matter because you just drove away. What makes it even sadder is I had no words to say. I just sat there staring. Posture said I wasn't caring, clearly daring you to leave. But why did you leave? I couldn't believe that you left. I have too much pride inside and once you left it died. Too little, too late, why couldn't you wait? Now I'm left to debate these questions with faith, but I wish you were here. I wish you were near. I wish this and I wish that, or how I wish you would come back like a reoccurring dream. A reassuring scream echoes in my head. No apologetic words were said. I'm sorry, please hear me. Sorries don't clear me. Clearly I love you dearly, it's true. I should have put my pride away and now I'm left in dismay. This day did not have the proper ending, so to you this poem I'm sending. Sorry, I was wrong. Sorries aren't as strong as a handhold, hug, or kiss. Either one of them would have avoided all of this, but my foolish pride that you matched in stride wouldn't stay inside, and because of it, perfect night just died. Thank you.